Today I'm going to be showing you how I built this Minecraft Cloverleaf highway interchange. It's in 1.5:1 scale, and if you guys remember my Minecraft highway tutorial video, that did actually really popular. I'm actually using the same signs for this one right here. And this specific one is based on one in Richfield, Minnesota. And as you can see, it's very large. So this build actually consists of two main roads. One is going this way, the other is going underneath. Well, we have some circles here in the middle and some roads connecting the outer edges. So if you count that as 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So 10 roads. And here's what it looks like in the point of view when you're driving down this road. Yes, it is very big, and for this tutorial I'm going to be showing you how to build it using WorldEdit and kind of a guideline because you might want to customize it to your terrain. I'll just show you the process on how I did it, but there's also some small little details you might have noticed, like all these highway signs, and they basically tell you the information about like the side road here. So you see that's like an exit sign, so you would just climb up this hill. It goes gradually up in a circle. And I did use cylinder command in WorldEdit for that. So you can see that goes around there. While over here we have the same highway sign, and this can be an exit going this way. And you see there's some details just making them separated. Another exit sign, a little detail here. And then the road just goes gradually down, and there's actually like these traffic lights or something. I'm not too familiar with it, but they exist in real life, so I added them. I guess deal with merging if there's like excessive traffic. So you see these two are going to be different, although they are symmetrical in a way. Mainly the signs are going to be the difference. And I did have to custom make this terrain because I was building it on a flat world. RIP Zytrix aircraft carrier. I do need to fix that later. I'm actually hosting this on my single player right now just because the render distance for this is actually quite large. But you can see it's quite amazing how large this is, and just imagine what it looks like with vehicles. And I can show you how it looks like if you're going down the circle for this road here. You could pretend you're a car just moving down the road, goes gradually down in a geometric circle shape. And by the way, down below this highway, there are some support beams just for some detail. And this video is made possible by AnwirOG, so thanks him. Which he also did the highway tutorials. Now we're going to make the Clover interchange. So this tutorial will require WorldEdit, and it is very advanced. So yeah, let's just get into it. So first I'll just go over briefly like how wide the road is. You see this white line here and extends to this part. It's 21 blocks. And the whole width of this highway thing is going to be 43 blocks. And then we have these outer pillars. Now, if you take a look at these highway supports, they're basically the same thing over and over again, just like 3 blocks wide here. The only real thing you need to make sure of is in the middle here, actually have it so it's like 3 blocks wide. So that's going to be different from the spacing with this one. It's 2 blocks wide. I also used the barrier blocks just to hold up that gray concrete powder. And if you don't have that, you can just use like a trap door just to hold that up. But in my world, it just stays like that. And this part for the support beam was going to be 7 blocks tall. And then we have the slab here, and then andesite slab wall. For the highway lines, they're basically 5 blocks long of smooth quartz stairs. And they have a gap of 13 in between. And then for these dashed lines, they're going to be 2 blocks long with a gap of 3 in between. And for the lanes of the highway, it's going to be 4 blocks wide. So 4, 4, and then this is kind of like erasing the line over here. Maybe it faded away. And then you make this divider here. And then I guess you would build this main road as well, like right above it. So you can see the outer edges, they have like a dashed line. And for this highway, you can see it lines up with this pillar. So it goes up with like an andesite wall and then andesite slabs here. And the distance between each side, let me actually check. It is 49 blocks wide from there to there. And remember, we have that 4 block wide for the lanes here with yellow concrete on the inner. Alright, so after I built those 2 roads, the next thing I did was actually make this circle part. Alright, so basically you want to go find the middle of your highway and the middle of this highway, which is going to be this divider. And then we'll go up over here, and then I did it kind of weird. It's going off to this side, so you go 1 block this way to make that one. That's just how I did it, just to make it line up with the lanes. So we're basically going to stack this, so it's going to be 93. So once we stack this 93 blocks, it should be in the middle of where we have this circle, which I made. All right, so yeah, it does line up going all the way down. And then after you do that, you're basically going to make 2 more circles, but they're going to be hollow circles. So then you're going to make the cylinder command with 1 stone or whatever block you want, and then 70 for, is it the radius or something? And I'm going to make this circle just to make the inner line that you see here, that's white, while the outer line was going to be like the oak stairs part. And then I'm going to make the outer circle, so we're going to change it to 76 instead of 70. And we also want to change the material. I feel like that's a good idea. So I'm just going to make 35 too. That's just a type of wool. And then later, using WorldEdit, you can replace it. Alright, so once we have like these 2 lines over here, if you did it correctly, it should be lining up with this lane right here. And the lane on the other side, it should be lined up like that. Alright, so next you want to make some angles just to divide up the land. You can see how I made it gradually climb up. So the amount of layers between this road and this road is going to be 10 blocks, including the road itself. So be aware if you're doing that to calculate the angle. We're going to go to the center, and then we're just going to extend this line so it goes to the outer edge of that, whatever how long that is. And once we go to the outer edge, we're going to select this line that we made here, and then we want to copy it, and then we'll rotate it by 22, and then we'll paste it. And when you paste it, you want to write -a. That's just paste without the air so it doesn't delete these blocks lines. Basically gonna make more of these slices of pizza. Just keep rotating it, pasting it, rotating it, pasting it, rotate, paste it, and then we want to try to make a semicircle. And you know, for this part here, it actually won't extend all the way up to the line for some reason. So when that happens, you know, you just extend it manually. I guess you just go like this or something. And don't worry about the inner parts. We're actually going to delete it after we're done with this. So just keep rotating it, pasting it, rotating it, pasting it. By this point here, I think we're good. And then we're just gonna copy again, because we already select this, and this time we're going to go -22. And then we'll just paste, and then rotate, paste, and we should have 10 layers. So if you count, this is going to be 1 layer, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and then 10. So that's 10 layers, so we don't need to do any more of these angles. Now we want to delete all these lines on the inside part, because we already finished it all. So to do that, so then we'll go here where we were standing and delete the block, so we're inside it now. And we want to type in this command, the cylinder with air, which is 0, and then 69 is like the radius, and that just deletes everything inside the circle. So we're just left with like the outer part, and that will help you determine each of the slopes. Now when you get up to this road over here, you're gonna basically delete, like after like this edge here, we'll just delete everything in this quadrant of the circle. So yeah, we'll just delete it using set 0. Basically you would just move these lines, of course using WorldEdit, and just move them down. And then later you would fill in the inside parts, and you would just go gradually up to have like this line thing. And again, if there's holes, you just fill this in, whatever looks the best, or you can customize it later because it might not look natural. So basically at each of these lines, you're just gonna go up 1 layer. You're just gonna move all this down and make sure you fill in the inside parts with the road material, as well as adding blocks on the outer side part. I actually did that manually, and you can use the replace command just to replace it if you want to use the smooth quartz stairs or the oak stairs. And here I'm going to go over a slideshow just how I did it. So this is what it looks like in the beginning. I was just like coming up with the design, and then I divided up into angles, and then I basically made a slope going down like this. And yeah, that's basically how I did it. And I filled it in with glass. I later replaced it. Here's what trucks looks like, by the way. So I came up with the height, and then here I changed up the angles because in the beginning it was actually too high. So this is what it should look like. Then after that, we actually want to make the terrain because there's nothing here. So basically what I did was make this slope over here. Right here is stone, but before it was grass. And you just make a slope underneath the highway on the side. Just like after this pillar is going to be 2, and then 2, 2, 2. Keep on doing that all the way up until we reach here. Then after you do that, you basically use your WorldEdit axe, and you just select the land from one of the points here. And then I just like went over where we have the road. And then I just made the line command. It's just like you write line and then the material you want. We can do 35 for wool. And then it basically just makes a line, and you want a bunch of them for each layer. So that's basically what I did. It looks really geometric, not really natural, but we'll fix it later. And then for the outer edge, I basically just added like random points on the ground so it looks like it's going on a curve. So I did that for the outer edge as well. Then I changed my selection to convex, and I used the curves command just to make this nice terrain, and that makes some artificial terrain, so you kind of just use your judgment. And then here I connected to the land. So to use the curves command, you basically use our WorldEdit X, and we're going to use the convex selection. So go to the WorldEdit X, and you want to write / cell, and then you want to write convex. Should be right there. And basically it changes so it has multiple points in your selection. So for example, if you want to make a curve and you don't want to make it like super geometric straight lines, pretend that is the curve you wanted to. For example, you got to take our WorldEdit X, go to the first point of it, left click, and then right click the other points. And you need to have at least 3 points in your selection. So I'm just pretending I wanted to like expand this terrain here. Basically, you got to write curve, and then you want the material to put it on. And I usually just put like a different material just in case I want to just visualize what it looks like. So that's what it looks like. Just to fill in the land, you just write fill and then write 2 and then 100. That's just grass and like 100 radius or whatever. Fill that in, and there's like little holes there. You can fill that in as well. So that's basically how curves work. And you want to do it so your terrain looks natural. So it's a lot of trial and error. Just do what looks right to you. All right, so after I did that, I basically made some more curves to go around this highway. So you can see right here, just building up the land around it, which we'll need later. So here's what it looks like right now. And you can see these things are still geometric, but later I will change it. So we added a little more curves to it just to make it more natural. Yeah, right here. So I wasn't just satisfied with that. Building up the land around it. You can see it's still kind of like sharp over here. And I did need to fix it just to make it more curvy and more natural looking. And by the way, these are just progress pictures on how I actually came up with the design. So I tried experimenting, like adding to all 4 sides. You don't have to do this all at the same time. Just do one corner and then copy the whole thing at the end, so you don't have to do it again. So after we have like the circle part done, we want to make this outer road right there. So basically you'll go to the center right here, and we'll place a temporary block. You can use lime wool. And to go back into like the regular WorldEdit, we'd go / cell and then just write cuboid to get out of the vertex thing. So go to the middle here, and then we want to look diagonally. And then we're to stack it, so it's going to be 65, just to go all the way to the outer edge and like leave some distance between. Once we do that, it should be lining up. This is where we're going to have like the inner line or outer line, depending on how you look at that. And the distance between this should be like 9 blocks in between. And then basically what I did after that, I extended it. So I stacked it actually 30 directions on each side. So 30 that way, and then 30 that way. And then this is like kind of like the straight part of it. And then we're going to use like the very tip of it as like an angle for the convex in our curve. So then we're going to go back into like the middle of the road, and then for this andesite wall, we'll just count from where we have the overpass. And then that's going to be where we have this exit here. Approximately it is 413 blocks. So you can count just using WorldEdit, just like select the parts. Then in the parentheses, that shows how many blocks are selected. So 400. So once you get up to that point, I guess you just make a point like that. And basically what you want to do is have like vertex points. So this is going to be our first one. And then we want 2 in the middle in between this one and that one. So that kind of determines on what you want. So I don't know. We're just making it random. Just like that. Just imagine a curve going in that way. And apparently since we're doing the outer edge of it, we'll just select this one instead. For that lane, it should line up with this line, I guess. Then we'll go back to our WorldEdit tool, go to cell and then convex. Just go back to that polyhedral selector. And then select all the points like this. And by the points can be elevated. So I guess you just want to like kind of follow the terrain, whatever terrain you generated. You're going to write curve and then write the material you want. Just like that. And it should come up with a line. And sometimes it just goes like down because, you know, that's just how curves work. It's kind of like three-dimensional, but you know, you could just fix it whenever you want to. And this part may require some tweaking. Maybe you're not satisfied with how it looks like, so just definitely do it until it looks right, or maybe you got it good on the first try. So after you have that line, we need to make that line over there. So let me measure it. So we need to go back into cuboid to get the regular WorldEdit and just measure from like the middle part. Should line up with the median and then go all the way down. And that's going to be, for my version, it says 436. So after we have that, we'll put our point right there, and then you have our point, whatever point you want. You need those 2 points again, just in between everything, and then we'll go back to this one, and then go back to convex, and then we'll make the curve right here. So let's do that. Alright, so once we make the curve, it should look like this, and they'll give you idea for the outer curve. And by the way, this is what it looked like when I was actually designing it for like the first time. I was just practicing how it looked like. And then actually you have to generate more terrain around it just to fit in this road so it doesn't go on the floor. So I have to just elevate all of that using the curves command. So then we need to make the other curve, right? So go to the vertex point. Again, I did not line up with my original one, so it's not gonna line up, but we're basically count like 6 blocks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And this part is going to be the other vertex point. So you're just gonna do the same thing right here. Just do it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then just make another one like that. And then you make the outer curve. And once you have filled in the road and you added like the blocks onto the side of the road, and here's just how I did it, some behind the scenes. Alright, so once you finish the outer road and you have like the inner road, you want to add in these dashed lines. Again, they're like the 2 blocks long and then 3 block wide gap. So this is going to be at the entrance and the exits of these roads, except this part in the middle, that doesn't have any markers. But these ones do because they're merging. And also for this road in particular, I just made it so this lane kind of disappears into that section, and then this thing kind of merges like that. I don't know. I just copying whatever was in real life. Then we're going to select the quadrant that you made and then go to the middle, not where this thing is, the actual middle where the highway is, and you're going to copy it, and then you're going to rotate 180 degrees and paste it right there so that you have another one of those. And then you want to flip it using the flip command, and then you paste again here and then rotate 180 degrees and paste it there. So then you have like all 4 quadrants. So after you have that, you basically want to add in some detailing. So the main detailing I have is like these highway signs, and I do have a tutorial already on how to build them, but I have changed it a little since I added like white carpet on top. I feel like, you know, a lot of these signs, they have like the white borders, so I want to add that. So I just placed that on the side of the road, and you don't want to have it on all 4 sides. It's just going to be where the entrance is. So, you know, we drive on the right hand side, so it's going to be right here, and it's going to be our exit. And you also want to add in like this little detail here. I don't know, it's like a warning pole or whatever. And then this is like the exit sign. It's real simple design. I have a gap of 13 blocks between this and this, but you don't have to place it like exactly perfect. You know, it's just an approximation. And of course, you remember to get the oak, the yellow on the outer edge and the white on the inner edge, I guess. So that goes all the way down there and then kind of merges there. And then for this road, you know, it goes this way. So you actually want to add in like the same exit sign and like a little warning label. And it goes up all the way here. And there's actually going to be this traffic thing. It is optional. And then it's just like a wall, iron bars, another brick fence, and a birch sign. It's actually facing the wrong direction since I just like pasted it. But yeah, ideally, you should just face it direction where the car is coming from. Like that, so they can stop if there's traffic, and then they merge onto the highway right here. And you would basically alternate depending on where the entrance is. So it's going to be on one of them. See, one has it, one doesn't. So this is entrance, this is the exit. So keep on doing that for all of them. And once you have laid out all the details, it should be looking like this. And I also did add another highway sign on the overpass. Just looks like this, just for this exit lane. But yeah, once you have done it, that is pretty much it on how to make this Minecraft Highway Clover interchange. It's a very large build. Good luck to anyone who's building this, because I think even if you follow this tutorial, it could be a little bit challenging at first, but it is worth it at the end. Has a really nice, cool design. and definitely will look cool with vehicles. And again, thanks a lot to AnwirOG for commissioning this build, making this video possible. If you guys are interested in commissioning a build for yourself, check out the link in the description. But anyways, I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.